All right, folks, welcome back to part 2 of episode 20. Is Die Hard and Die Hard 2 Christmas movies? Well, I got with me here, fashionably late, Mr. Paul Bell. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much, brother. How's it going?
All right. Well, Paul.
Sorry for the delay. Got a bunch of kids.
Oh, God, I understand that. But when it comes down to it, Paul, your views. Is Die Hard, and I would say respectfully so, Die Hard 2, are they Christmas films? Are they holiday films?
I would definitely say they're holiday films. I mean, what makes a Christmas movie? Christmas tree, good feelings, and come on, tell me you don't enjoy watching Gruber fall from the tower.
Oh my God, exactly. That brings a Christmas tear to my eyes. More so than Tiny Tim saying, "God bless us, everyone." So, I mean, what about you? Would you say that's better than that line?
There's not much better than the look on Alan Rickman's face when he's dropped. I mean, that right there is holiday gold.
And you know what the funny thing is? When they were making that scene, they didn't tell him when they were about to drop him. So that's a legitimate, honest to God fear of God look. And he had back problems too, so it didn't help his back issues anymore doing that scene, because that was a backdrop painted to look like the ground, and that was like a pretty, it was controlled, but it was a pretty good drop. He dropped on a giant airbag that was painted to look like the parking lot plaza to the building. So I mean,
yeah, I think I read somewhere it was like a 20-foot drop or something like that.
It had been at least like that, but
yeah.
I mean, Paul, what was your favorite? I mean, when was your first exposure to Die Hard? Was it through the first film, or was it like one of the later films?
So I'd have to say the original exposure would be I saw a commercial for Die Hard 3. I remember bringing it up to my grandmother, who was a big Bruce Willis fan. She remembered Moonlighting and all those old shows where he was really the smart mouth, sarcastic, kind of flippant character. But she told me if I needed to see one, I needed to see the first one. So we started at the beginning, and it was just an excellent experience. I mean, as you get older, you do more research into it, and you find out, how it kind of came to be. And I mean, my love for the movie just kind of spurred that want for that information.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember sitting there and thinking to myself, man, this is a really cool action movie,
Oh yeah. There was a Canadian film that was based more or less onto the book, Nothing Lasts Forever, that was actually done, and it was almost like a duplicate. I mean, the producers almost filed suit, or did file suit with the producers of Die Hard or anything like that, but I think that was one of the reasons why, because they changed the names to John McClane and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why, and the title was changed. Even the book, when it came back out in book form, they said the book would say Die Hard, formerly known as Nothing Lasts Forever by Riddick Trump. But again, I kind of would like to see that book made into a movie, even though knowing that it's it would be considered a remake in a way of Die Hard, but it would still, because it's a good book. I read the book, when I found out that it was a basis for Die Hard, and there's close similarities, some characters here and there, but again, both are they're still different, same story scenario, but things are different, and they work well on their own. But what would you say would be your favorite part of Die Hard? And Die Hard 2.
That's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of great scenes. Of course, the iconic ending is a great scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to say probably when he goes through that stairwell and he's fighting with the one of the henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that scene. I thought it was very well done. I mean, I had seen other action movies earlier in life, seeing I remember one of my favorite action movies when I was younger was The Last Action Hero.
Yep.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, just the fact that Bruce Willis was not this big, like, buffed out dude that towered over everybody and had arms as big around as most people's necks,
Yeah, he was just a regular average cop.
Yeah.
He was...
I remember reading somewhere about how they deliberately wanted to make him vulnerable, like the scene where he goes walking through broken glass.
Oh, yeah.
They deliberately did that scene so they showed that he was human. He wasn't just some mythical, action hero.
Yeah. I mean, my grandmother, she actually, she wasn't much into action films, but she did like this one, and she loved that scene where the news reporter gets punched in the face at the end. And also, you also have the guy who played Officer Powell. He ends up, he later on played a cop again on the show Family Matters. He was the father on Family Matters.
Carl Winslow.
Yep. Yeah, and his name is eluding me right now. I'm like forgetting people's names, real names. But Bonnie Bedelia, she played a really good, straight edge, tough talking, 1980s businesswoman, which is a model for a lot of women nowadays who are in the business field, in corporate America, and and then that right there you can see, even from there, they didn't have to throw it in her face. They put it in subtle, and like, wow, you can tell that that's one tough talking woman that can handle anything, any tough situation.
Yeah.
And and yes, she was a damsel in distress, but she's being held. She's being held at
loosely.
Yeah, but she's being held at gunpoint. But she had become, when her boss is shot, everybody looks at her as, the person to go to. So she was a strong character, a strong woman that was well written and well acted as well. Bonnie Bedelia was a very underrated actress, even throughout most of the '80s or in the '90s, and she was in a lot of good films, but she just never really got that utilization that she deserved as time went on. So, but when it comes to Die Hard 2, man, what do you remember from Die Hard 2? Because I remember going to see it around opening weekend with my mom and dad and my youngest and my middle brother Sean and my aunt and her husband at the time. We went to go see it at the theater here in town, and I remember I was just blown away. It was a bigger, more explosions, and it spread out more. It wasn't contained in just a building, because as I said in the earlier video, there was a lot of copycats that came out. There was Die Hard on a Boat, which was Under Siege. Die Hard on a Bus, which was Speed. Die Hard in Space, which was a lot of other films that were, well, I guess you would say, Armageddon would be like Die Hard in Space, or Die Hard on an Asteroid, even though it starred Bruce Willis as well. But, I mean, that formula was really utilized, the one-man soldier, a one reluctant hero type of scenario that was stuck in a situation.
I feel like it was kind of carried over from the action movie genres of the '80s, where you have that single male figure that just run in and handles everything, guns blazing, explosions, all of it.
And he saw all the warning signs, and everybody ignores him and thinks he's crazy. And I mean, again, you also had a really good villain in there as well, William Sandler, who went on to play the Grim Reaper in the Bill and Ted sequels, and he himself is he's a pretty good actor himself. William Sandler was a very well actor, and he really played it cold and sadistic. Hans Gruber was very cool and maniacal and calculating, but it seemed like Colonel Sanders was more, he wanted you to know what he's doing. He was trying, and I would say they were the villains in Die Hard were terrorists. The one in Die Hard 1, they were bank robbers in the true aspects. They were there to heist. They were trying to get into a vault that had millions of dollars worth of items inside of it. In Die Hard 2, I consider them more domestic terrorists.
Oh, I would agree.
So
yeah, they were there at the plaza. They were there to rob it. And the second one, which I think is a commentary on the time change between the two movies.
Yeah.
just the era in which they kind of came out. In the 80s, there was a lot of heist movies. There was a lot of, it didn't really turn to terrorism until like the 90s, early 90s was when it really started, coming out that everybody was, deliberately trying to cause terror, which I think that had to do with just the times we were living in at that time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was only like maybe a year or two in between each, at least 2 years in between production, and about a year or something in between the releases of each film. And I always thought this was funny when it came to Die Hard 2's teaser trailer. They shot the teaser trailer without having a completed script and not a shot of film. They just shot and it never, none of that ever made it in the movie. It was just John McClane running in a room full of pipes and wires and explosions, and he's like, how the same thing happened to the same guy twice, and he goes, Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
And, and that right there proved, how a studio, fast tracks a lot of movies, and, they take that risk, even though that first film is a massive success, which it was back in '88. It's still taking a risk that you're making a trailer even before you make a movie. You don't even have a thing of celluloid shot.
Well, see, there you go. There's your Christmas miracle right out of the movie.
Yeah. But again,
we got family, we got trees, we got lights, we got the Christmas miracle of the trailer for the second one. I mean, you can't argue that it's not a Christmas movie. I mean, come on.
I know, but
This is Santa Claus.
But when it comes to I said in the first video that Michael Kamen, who did a lot of Joel Silver productions, and when it comes to the music score, he did a lot of the music score for, again, the Lethal Weapon films. He really, he defined that fine line between, his music and then integrating some, Christmas themed chimes in there. You had the Christmas bells mixed in with the action music, and I think he did a really good job. It just really complemented the film, like most scores throughout that time. What do you think?
I think it did very well. I really enjoyed the music to Die Hard. I felt like it really set the tone for what was going on in each scene.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the movie as a whole. I mean, like I said, it was just for the genre it was in at its time, it was very revolutionary. The fact that, I was able to, enjoy it with somebody who also enjoyed Bruce Willis, that definitely made a memory.
Yeah.
I mean, just overall, I can't say enough good things about the movie. I enjoy, if anybody has a guilty pleasure, it's definitely the Die Hard movies for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I had to say, though, even though I love the first two, I love the third one much more because it was very ensemble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, that's another time. That's another video, though, but because this is the holiday season, damn it, and we're going to daggum well talk about it, But before we get going, I want to also I want to thank a lot of people who watched the channel this year. I really, this has been a really great year for the channel. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Jake Estrada, and who has a new film that came out in October called Zoom. It's a horror film. Check it out. Tyler Roberts, who is the head of over there at Pop Culture Corner here on YouTube. I want to thank him for joining me for Movie Moments and Movie Memories. I want to thank our claims lady Jeffrey for being our cameraman over there at the Ocala Comic Con. He gave me some good footage this year, so I want to thank him very much. I want to thank everybody who supported the show's physical media format and here the Movie Dawgs show. And the Movie Dawgs show, we started in January. It's been doing really good. It's a really good format the way I've got it, and it's easy for me and Paul, so we don't have to spruce ourselves up and make ourselves look even more handsome than we already are. So on the camera can't handle that much good lookiness. I don't know about you.
Just the magnificence of the beards alone.
Oh, I know. You know, I've got that.
You got the salt and pepper badger kind of thing. I got the whole lion mane going. I mean, it's just, and we're just so damn humble. I mean, you put all that on film, and good lord.
Oh, I know. I also want to thank a few supporters. Joe Kane, who has been supporting Physical Media Format and the show, the channel itself. He's been trying to spread the word. And also Bethany K at Bethany K Fitness here on YouTube as well. She's been a big supporter of the channel. She's always throwing great comments and, you know, always promoting the show as much as she can on her social media. And again, guys, everybody, I want to thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. And Paul, big thanks to you as well, man. You're always, you know, when you can do it. And I love doing this show with you, man. I'm always trying to save those perfect moments, you know, when it comes to the subject matter. And I know Die Hard was definitely one of those.
Oh, yeah. No, brother, I enjoy doing the show with you, and I definitely help out as much as I can.
But,
you know, I congratulate you on all the success you've been having, and I hope it continues to magnify it, and I hope it continues to work out for you, brother. I really do.
Well, I'm hoping that I can always have you on there and everything, on here and everything, because, you know, you're one of the reasons why this channel runs, man. You know, you really was there, and you really helped me get it settled to the ground, and you would always give me that advice. You're like, I think you're doing it, you're giving it a little too much. Back up a little bit, you know. And also, when it comes down to it, I want to thank my wife and kids and everything. I always thank my kids for keeping it quiet as much as they can in the next room so I can do this, and to thank the wife for being tolerable for doing this, for me always talking about movies. All right, Paul. Well, thanks again, man, for coming on and talking Die Hard. I guess the discussion, it says it. You know, it is a Christmas film. Both films, Die Hard 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always going to be that way, you know. And folks, don't forget, if you haven't, like this video. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. You know, let's get those subscriptions up real quick, folks, and everything. Let's make this channel one of the best damn channels on YouTube next year. All right, folks. For Paul Bell, William Baxter, Merry Christmas to all, and all good explosion here and there, folks.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Thanks for watching, and keep on watching, folks. Bye.